Something strange is happening in America right now. The stock market looks fine, unemployment numbers look healthy, politicians keep saying the economy is strong, but behind closed doors, Americans are quietly going broke. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly, invisibly, and painfully. This isn't about homeless people on the streets. This is about teachers, nurses, engineers, truck drivers, office workers, people who did everything right. They're working full-time, they're skipping vacations, they've cut back on luxuries, and still, they're drowning. Today, we're going to show real proof that Americans aren't struggling in the future. They're already broke right now. Number 1. The broke that doesn't look broke. Most Americans aren't broke in the way movies show it. There's no dramatic eviction scene, no suitcase on the sidewalk. Instead, this is a silent collapse. They still have a car with a massive loan, a house or apartment with crushing rent or mortgage, a credit card almost maxed out. On the outside, life looks normal. On the inside, it's financial suffocation. Today, millions of Americans have less than $400 in savings. Millions are one emergency away from disaster. Millions are surviving by rotating debt. This is what broke looks like in modern America. Number 2. Paycheck to paycheck is now the default. Not long ago, living paycheck to paycheck was a warning sign. Now, it's the norm. Over 60% of Americans admit they can't make it to the next month without their next paycheck. And here's the truly terrifying part. The people caught in this cycle aren't just minimum wage earners. Many of them earn what we'd consider solid middle-class incomes, $60,000, $80,000, even $100,000 a year, salaries that should offer a comfortable safety net. So, how is that possible? How can a six-figure salary feel like living on the edge? Because for millions, expenses didn't rise gradually. They exploded. This isn't about bad budgeting or laziness. It's about a system where income stagnates but the cost of life, housing, healthcare, education, never stops climbing. And when most of the country lives one paycheck away from disaster, stability becomes a fragile illusion, easily shattered by a single unexpected bill. Which brings us to the real, underlying problem, the ever-increasing cost of simply existing in America. Number 3. The cost of just existing has doubled, and we're not talking about luxuries or discretionary spending, we're talking about the non-negotiable pillars of a stable life, a roof over your head, food on the table, and a way to get to work. The fundamental price of survival has skyrocketed. Let's break down exactly how this happened. Housing for renters, the situation is dire. Rent has doubled in many U.S. cities in under a decade, far outpacing wage growth and forcing people into smaller spaces, further from their jobs. And the dream of homeownership? For many, it's now locked behind an iron gate of sky-high prices, high interest rates, and massive down payments that feel impossible to save for. The result is that a mortgage today costs hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars more per month than it did just a few years ago, even for the exact same house. Groceries. Food inflation didn't just raise prices, it fundamentally changed our behavior at the supermarket. To cope, Americans are now buying cheaper, store-brand items, eating less protein and more filler foods, and quietly skipping meals without admitting it to anyone. Grocery bills that used to be a manageable $150 are now an alarming $300, and people are forced to pretend it's normal just to get by. Transportation. The cost of getting around has also become a heavy burden. Car prices are higher, insurance premiums are higher, and routine repairs are significantly higher. Meanwhile, gas prices remain volatile and unpredictable. A car is no longer a symbol of freedom. For millions, it's a financial anchor, chaining them to debt. And in most of America, a car isn't optional. It's an absolute requirement to survive. Miss one payment, and your job, your income, and your entire stability can disappear overnight. Number 4. Credit cards are hiding the collapse. Here's one of the biggest proofs Americans are broke. Credit card debt is exploding, not for luxury, not for vacations, for groceries, for rent, for medical bills. Credit cards have become life support systems. People are paying, one card with another card, minimum payments that never touch the principal interest rates that quietly drain future income. This isn't spending. This is survival borrowing. Every swipe pushes the problem forward and makes tomorrow more expensive than today. Number 5. Emergencies or financial death sentences, one broken tooth, one ER visit, one car repair. That's all it takes. Americans aren't afraid of big disasters. They're afraid of small ones, because medical insurance doesn't mean affordable care. Sick days are limited, missing work means missing rent. This constant fear changes people, it creates anxiety, sleepless nights, silent panic. This is why Americans live with constant anxiety, not because they're reckless, but because they're exposed. When small problems become financial disasters, fear becomes part of daily life, and living in constant fear slowly changes how people think, work, and hope. Number 6. The death of savings. Savings used to be a safety net, now it's a luxury. Most Americans can't save consistently, people aren't saving for the future. Savings were supposed to be the cushion, the backup plan, the sense of control, but once savings disappear, every decision feels heavier, and life turns into a balancing act, where one wrong step sends everything crashing down. Number 7. Retirement is quietly dying. Here's a brutal truth. Many Americans will never retire, not because they don't want to, but because they can't afford to stop working. 401ks look good on paper until inflation eats them alive. Pensions are gone, Social Security is uncertain. For millions, retirement is turned into work until your body gives out. For many Americans, retirement is no longer a stage of life, it's a luxury. The future used to feel planned, now it feels uncertain, and when people stop believing in the future, they stop investing in it, emotionally and financially. Number 8. Wages lost the war. People love to say, just earn more. But wages didn't keep up, not with housing, not with healthcare, not with education, not with food. It just means surviving another year. This is the part no spreadsheet shows. The exhaustion, the quiet panic, the loss of optimism. People aren't just running out of money, they're running out of hope. And that kind of collapse doesn't trend online, it happens silently. Number 9. The psychological collapse. This isn't just financial, it's mental. Americans are ashamed to admit they're struggling. Afraid to talk about money, pretending everything is fine. Social media shows vacations, real life shows overdraft fees. This gap is breaking people. People feel isolated, exhausted, defeated, and they suffer quietly, because everyone else looks okay. Number 10. Why this is happening quietly: because collapse doesn't always crash. Sometimes it leaks. Slowly. Silently. Systematically. No headlines. No alarms. Just millions of people slowly sinking. And by the time the damage is visible, most people are already too deep to escape. If this video felt uncomfortable, it's because the story it tells is painfully real. It's a reality that's often ignored, but one that millions of Americans are forced to live every single day. They're struggling quietly behind closed doors, convinced by the silence that they're the only ones failing. Most people feel like they're completely alone in it, adrift in a sea of economic uncertainty. So I want to break that silence. Here's my question to you. Do you feel financially better off than you did 5 years ago? Or worse? Take a moment and really think about it. Tell us your answer in the comments. This isn't for algorithms or engagement metrics, it's for the person reading, so they know they're not alone. Your story can be a lifeline for someone else. And if you want more honest videos that expose what's really happening in America, the difficult truths you won't hear on the mainstream news, then subscribe to this channel. Because this conversation is bigger than just money. It's about survival, it's about demanding the truth, and it's about the future we're all walking into together. Let's face it with our eyes wide open. And comment your experience below. Your story